Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We've had the Decidueye Raid out for a few hours now, and we know a lot more about how to take on the Alolan starter. There's a lot of upcoming developments that we found, including its moveset, solid counters, and a surefire way to kill it in 4 turns before it has a chance to put up that shield. Let's go take a look at what we know, and I'll show you how to beat it and claim one for yourself. Before the event dropped, everyone was curious if Decidueye was going to attack on the physical or the special side. We now know the answer. It's attacking on the physical side almost 100% of the time. There is one small catch, but its main moveset, looking at the information I have, it's going to know Low Kick, Brave Bird, Spirit Shackle, and Leaf. It has the options throughout various phases of the fight to use the moves Feather Dance, Swords Dance, and Air Slash as well. It is level 100, obviously. It gets walled by several of the physical tanks that we've discussed prior, as well as some that I didn't discuss, and we'll go into that here shortly. One of the main things we want to do with 7-star Tera Raid Pokemon, and Tera Raid Pokemon in general, is kill them quickly. Not giving them a chance to bring those shields up or give themselves buffs, give yourself debuffs, or any of the like. So real quick, we're going to take a look at what Decidueye's full range of phases look like, as well as what its gimmick, I guess you could call it, is. For Charizard, it was Overheat, followed by removing status debuffs on turn 1. For Greninja, it was a turn 1 double team, something along those lines. What Decidueye ends up doing is it ends up gaining the ability to attack extra times in a turn. But we'll get to that in detail here in a second. Looking at phase 1, from the start of the raid until about a quarter of your time is gone, or about a fifth of your time is gone, it is going to immediately on turn 1 attack. When the round resolves, it is going to then clear your Pokemon, the player's Pokemon, of any abilities and stat boosts, like raid Pokemon tend to do. From there, the fight will resume as normal. After another turn or two, it's going to potentially, it has a chance to use Feather Dance. And then when you approach the point where it's going to gain its shield, which is, again, about a fifth of the way in, about 30 seconds into the fight. I may be wrong slightly on the time, but you'll see on the video whereabouts the bar ends up. It is going to Swords Dance itself. It is going to clear all of its debuffs, and then it's going to put up its shield. It's going to do this very early on in the fight, so if you don't kill it by about turn 5, you're going to run into troubles. You're going to have to fight through that shield. With the build we'll discuss here in a minute, it's possible to fight through that shield with a very high rate of success, like 90-95%. But if things go according to the plan, then you'll be able to beat this before the shield comes up 100%. Following the shield coming up, it's going to jump through phases based on how much time is left. The next phase is going to, every time it gets in a turn to attack, it's actually going to get a second attack. And it's going to look at using things like Air Slash, Low Kick, Spirit Shackle. Leaf Blade is its least common move from my experience. Or Brave Bird. And then when you get down to that kind of critical time, below a quarter of the time remaining, you're going to actually see that there are chances for it to get up to 3 attacks. So it's going to hit you with Air Slash, Spirit Shackle, or Low Kick, Spirit Shackle, Leaf Blade, the combinations of which are random. It doesn't always get 3 attacks, but it does get 3 attacks quite often. From there, obviously, it will start knocking out your Pokemon pretty quickly if you aren't able to maintain your debuffs on it, or your buffs on yourself, your defense buffs on yourself. So just be wary. It will get more and more difficult as the raid goes on, especially when it gets that really early shield. So now it's the moment you've all been waiting for. Which Pokemon did we use? There are plenty of strategies out there that are going to get you a 1-turn kill, a 2-turn kill, things that utilize Belly Drum. I've seen a strategy utilizing Anger Point, but I was unable to field a team of 4 people who could run this raid with me consistently. So we had to figure out what the most consistent strategy was for 2 people to be able to take down this raid before that first shield came up. And what we settled on is a special attacking Miraidon and a support Corviknight. So let's take a look first at Miraidon. This is going to be a special attacking Miraidon, as most of them are, and it's pretty much going to be your standard Miraidon raid set that you use for 5 and 6-star Tera raid. You're going to have a special attack boosting nature, so probably modest nature Miraidon. You're going to max out special attack. You're going to max out HP for survivability, and then you're going to put any remaining points into defense. Not super necessary because of what we're going to do with the Corviknight, but it's still useful. The moveset we're going to run is going to be Calm Mind, Parabolic Charge, Electro Drift, and Metal Sound. And the strategy here is you have the Metal Sound to assist the Corviknight in lowering the special defense, and then when you're clear to boost yourself, because you're not worried about Decidueye taking down your stats, you're going to Calm Mind twice, and then Electro Drift. You're going to equip it with either the Wise Glasses or the Magnet. Both work. I was running Wise Glasses all night, and it works just fine, which is a 10% boost to your power. The Magnet is a 20% boost to your power, so it's just a little extra overkill. It's going to have the ability Hadron Engine, of course, and that's going to be the Miraidon setup. We'll go through the full course of events shortly. First, we're going to take a look at the Corviknight. The Corviknight is going to be a physically bulky tank support set. It is going to run max defense, max HP, have a defense boosting nature, giving it every chance to tank the physical attacks that Decidueye wants to put out. You're then going to run the moveset Metal Sound, Taunt, Reflect, and Drill Peck. We'll take a look again at the turn order here soon. The last thing you want to make sure is that your Corviknight is equipped with a wide lens. You want to make sure that Metal Sound is as accurate as possible. It's originally an 85. This will put it up to just short of 95% accurate. You're gonna hit Metal Sounds 95 out of 100 times. So you'll be able to use this to grind out Decidueye raids with little to no worry. So now you've got your 2 Pokemon. You've got Miraidon, you've got Corviknight. You're going into the raid. Here's what you're going to look to. Turn 1, at the end of turn 1, Decidueye is going to reset stats, so you don't want to do any buffing. However, it doesn't do anything about debuffs. So turn 1, you're going to set up a Reflect, which doesn't go away when it removes stats and abilities, with Corviknight. And with Miraidon, you're going to do the first of the 3 Metal Sounds. Since you can't buff yourself this turn, this is going to be fine. None of its moves are going to do enough damage to you to matter, especially since the Reflect is going to go up. Turn 2, your stats have technically been reset. Your ability no longer works. With Miraidon, you're going to Calm Mind. You're going to start setting up. All you need to do is get to +4. With Corviknight, you're going to switch over to taking over on Metal Sounds. You're going to Metal Sound on turn 2. You're going to Metal Sound on turn 3. For Miraidon, you're going to Calm Mind on turn 2. Calm Mind on turn 3. And then when turn 4 comes around, Miraidon's going to hold until Corviknight takes its move, in which it's going to use the Attack Cheer. Once you hear the little ding-ding of the Attack Cheer go as the Miraidon player, you're free to click Electro Drift. And that is going to be it. It won't get a chance to put up a shield. It won't get a chance to remove its debuffs. It will, from 100% down to whatever the NPCs can whittle it to, it will just faint. And that's how it goes. 4 turns, 1 KO, and a whole bunch of rewards. The cool part about this strategy is it's easily scalable. We can only guarantee that 2 people are going to be here, which is why we found this solution. But if you wanted to add a 3rd or a 4th, technically all they have to do is not die. So what do? Bring more Corviknights. The Miraidon itself does have to get to turn 4 in order to have the +4 and to be able to kill the Decidueye. If you have more Corviknights, you're going to be able to get Metal Sounds more effectively because you can afford to miss a few. The Reflect will be free. You don't have to worry about losing that turn. And you'll also be able to run Taunt on one of them just in case something goes amiss. But this strategy works. The one caveat to this strategy when running it with 2 people is if you get the Arboliva NPC. Arboliva does only one thing that ruins this entire build. I lied. It doesn't ruin the entire build. It makes it so you have to fight almost all the way to the end, but you can still win. But Seed Sower gets rid of your electric terrain, and each heal that you have to go through delays your timer and gives the Decidueye a pretty sure chance at getting its shield before you get to turn 4 and can do the damage. If you get the Arboliva NPC, it's not lost. You can still win. It just takes a little more effort, and I mean, you're gonna have to make sure that you take the time to heal cheer properly. It's gonna be a little bit of ad-libbing, but you can still do it. The final note I can make about this is that even if Corviknight misses 1 or even 2 of its metal sounds, you can still, with the timing, as long as Arboliva's not there, you can still, with the timing, manage to get enough metal sounds on the next turn, on turn 4 or on turn 5, and attack on turn 6. You can still just eke in that window to knock out the Decidueye before it gets its shield. That's how you take down the Decidueye 7-star Tera Raid in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. An easy 1-2 combination of Miraidon and Corviknight is going to save you hours of frustrating failures to the 7-star raid. Go out there and claim yours today. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe if you enjoyed this content or it helped you at all. And leave me a comment down below with what builds you've been using to take down Decidueye. We'll see you next time.